get some pressure into the backfield, and then Phillips just kind of tosses it up. That's going to be a catch for Wqel, and then a big hit. We'll have to make sure Phillips was behind the line of scrimmage when he made that throw.
Yeah.
He did. Officials don't even talk about it. He was pretty close there at that line of scrimmage when he threw that one up for his receiver. Nice catch for the first down.
It's about 27 yards to Wqel there.
And with 1:15 left here in this first quarter, the Bucks are trying to get into that red zone, potentially get a touchdown here and gain some momentum as this game wanes on. Phillips keeps it on the keeper, and he's swarmed by a ton of defensive backs there for Fairport.
He was trying to get outside on the left edge, and he cut back in and ended up not getting anything at all. So
yeah, he had nowhere to go there. Good job by the secondary of Fairport for the contain, keeping Phillips inside the hashes. And that'll be a loss of about 2 yards. 2nd and 12 here. 30 seconds and counting remaining in the quarter. We've got trips once again near that Buckeye Central sideline. Phillips is going to take the snap. Trying to throw, no one open. He then launches one into the end zone. Just short of the end zone, ends up going out of bounds here, incomplete. With 10 seconds remaining, and now a 3rd and 12 for the Bucks offense.
Yeah, a little bit of a lofting pass. Phillips usually is a little more accurate than a couple of those passes that look like
I was going to say
punts almost.
It hasn't been the most accurate performance for Phillips at quarterback, but there is a huge wind behind them, as we can see, out into the forest. So that ball definitely caught the wind and sailed. We're going to try another pass here, though. He's going to launch one. Nice pass, much better one. Receiver unable to get that hand-eye coordination onto the ball, though. And it's going to be 4th and 12. That pass intended to Alec Phillips, so he wasn't able to get his eyes on that one. But it's going to be 4th and 12 here. 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Offense going to remain out there for the Bucks once again. We get the snap. Bogner in the backfield. He's trying to pass block for his quarterback. Doesn't go so well. He then launches this one high, and it goes out of bounds. Intended to Hunter Wqel. And that'll be a turnover on downs to end the first quarter with the visiting team Fairport in front 14-0 against the Bucks. We'll be back. You're listening to High School Football and Country Legends WBCO and streaming on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Kroll, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
Was a dominant first quarter for Fairport, and they had a lot of help on special teams, recovering an onside kick or two and putting some pressure on the Bucks defense, really wearing them out here early as in this game.
Yeah, they've scored a couple of touchdowns, and we talked about their passing game coming in for Avon, and they've shown that they can throw the ball, but they've also run the ball very well.
And they've been very confident in their run game. John Costello with a ton of yardage there in that first quarter. almost not to the century mark, but he's over halfway to the century mark here already in this game. We get
got about 75 yards rushing unofficially. So
yep, so 3/4 of the way actually to that century mark.
He's had a nice quarter, put it that way. And now we're going to mark 5 yards off against Fairport for something which we were not looking at.
Yeah, it looked like a false start by the receiver off of that pre-snap motion. So got a little antsy there in that first play, a quarter two. But, yeah, that's a really good pace for the running back. 75 yards a pop in each quarter. But hopefully the Bucks defense can shore up on that end. Lawson's going to throw one deep on a post. It's going to be Brandon Gibson Jr. He's going to take this one all the way for a Fairport touchdown.
75 yards.
A 75-yard catch and run for Brandon Gibson Jr. from the quarterback Lawson. That's going to now make it 20-0.
And I was just going to say they need to get a stop here and get a score. Now you're down 3 touchdowns as you start the second quarter. Really dug into a deep hole here for Buckeye Central.
And that was a nice play-action design
for
Fairport.
Little slant. There was, nothing huge, but he made a nice catch in stride and just kept going and outran everybody.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those slant post concept routes, and Lawson put it on the money to his player in between 2 Bucks defenders for the quick touchdown to get things going here in quarter number 2. 11:48 in the second quarter. PAT good, 21-0. Skippers here on the road, making a statement against Buckeye Central.
All right, we'll take a break. You're listening to high school football on Country Legends, WBCO, and streaming live on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
Buckeye Central, Trayvon Hastings here, Anthony Conchell, and
about 170 yards of total offense roughly in that first quarter plus 12 seconds. And Buckeye really is struggling, and they need to get something going on this series, quite simply.
And hopefully they've got more of a hands team look out there. They've struggled with these onside kick attempts for Fairport, and I don't see them actually kicking it off anytime soon.
No, but here comes one, and it's covered by Buckeye. Cleanly that time by one of the up guys. Kind of jumped up and grabbed a hold of it. It was number 88, who we don't have on the roster. Oh, Lane Cotto. I'm sorry. He's got 2 numbers. So we're going to assume it was
68 and 88.
We're assuming it's Lane, and he recovered it. So, again, good field position, Trayvon. You can't complain about the fact that, you've got the ball near midfield about every time.
Yeah, and that was their best job on that special teams kickoff situation with the onside kick.
Bounced right up to the big guy, and he covered it, and, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and it was Lane Cadil there. So we get a poorly executed motion by Buckeye Central, and it's going to be a false start. About 3 guys moved there on that O-line as well as the tight end Cadil. So
a little bit out of sync right now, Buckeye. They need to kind of get themselves together and get composed. We talked about that pregame, but you've got to stay focused in the moment, and they just seem to be a little bit disjointed.
Definitely got caught on their back foot with the onside kick attempts, and then also they've been shot in the foot here a little bit defensively.
A couple big chunk plays have just taken it right to them.
Yeah, and we're going to get a handoff here to Bogner. He breaks through a tackle, attempts to. Good ankle wrap there.
He got a yard, and he earned every bit of it.
He did earn every bit of it. That was turning into a crash collision there with that secondary of the Skippers. It'll be 2nd and 14 here for the offense of the Bucks.
taking their time here.
And we get trips towards the top at the Fairport sideline. We get another handoff here to Bogner. He's going to get downhill, get this one through with an extra push from the offensive line. Almost a first down, not quite, but that's a big gain for Bogner.
Yeah, he got about 12 yards, ran hard up the middle, and nothing fancy there, just straight ahead.
Nothing fancy. They're getting into the run game here. Pass game not working too well for Buckeye Central. We got a short third down, 3rd and 2. Very long 2, I will say, but big down here for the Bucks.
Yeah, you got to convert, keep the football, try to get on the board, and not let Fairport keep getting these big chunk plays and get this out of hand before halftime.
We get a high snap, the handoff to Bogner. In the backfield is that front line of Fairport for the tackle for loss.
51, Kane Milliman was in there, and I mean he practically rode the offensive lineman into the running back, and just had no chance at all.
Yeah, they sent a lot of pressure. They were guessing run. They guessed correctly, and it's going to be a 4th and 5 here at the 50. We've got 2 receivers on both sides. We get a drop back. Phillips has all day to throw, and he finally finds his man, Alec Phillips, coming across the middle of the field for a first down. Bucks.
Kind of been waiting for that. Been kind of quiet, Alec Phillips.
Yeah, he's only had 2 targets. That was the second.
Yeah.
That first one in the end zone, he wasn't able to find the ball. Dropped incomplete in front of him. So
about 18 yards to his brother. That helps.
And look for them to try to get some more targets to Alec Phillips as this game goes on. And they're going to need him if they want to get back into this game.
Absolutely.
We get a handoff here, or I should say a snap and QB run
straight ahead
with Phillips.
2 yards or so.
Brought down by number 12, Yomar Ostinella. There's an injured player on the field. Officials timeout.
Timeout for an injury, it looks like.
We've got an injured player. It is Phillips down. We'll take a quick time out here. You're listening to high school football on Country Legends, WBCO, and streaming on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Get hunkered down. Roberts, that tight end, is
Q92.7.
Welcome back to Buckeye Central. I'm Trayvon Hastings, with me, Anthony Conchel. We had that injury to the quarterback, Jack Phillips.
Yeah.
He's not out there right now. It's actually Alec Phillips at that quarterback position with Bogner in the backfield. There was a short 3-4 yard run. We get a handoff, read option look here. Alec Phillips keeps it.
Keeper by Alec Phillips.
but it's not enough for the first down, so it's going to be about 4th and 1 here for the Bucks with their quarterback out.
4.5. He needed 5, so very short yardage. Yeah, it looks like they're going to put Alec in the backfield with Bogner and kind of just take their chances that way. Probably a young backup quarterback who hasn't really played isn't really a good option, so keep your skilled guys in there and just change your formation a little bit.
Yeah, the freshman Owen Deppen is listed as the only other quarterback on the roster.
And I don't know that he's seen any action, and they just jumped offside. So.
And we get a jump offsides by Fairport. Poorly executed defensive play there for them, and that's going to move the chains without Buckeye Central even needing to snap the ball.
4th first down, but that one was given to him. But you know what? When you're down and your quarterback's out, you're going to take any opportunity you can. So it's going to be at the 18-yard line. And, I think with Phillips out and the other Phillips, Alec in there, they're going to lose something in the passing game. But, they've still got weapons. So.
And we get a motion here for Bogner into the backfield. He takes the handoff, and he's going to get
pretty good gain.
A good gain there. It didn't look like it was going to end that way, but he was able to move forward a little bit, break through a couple tackles, and get a few extra yards. So it looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 5 here at the 13-ish yard line.
Yeah.
So they can still get another first down, then be in 1st and goal situation inside the red zone here. First time they've honestly fully threatened to put up points. A handoff, a counter run here for Bogner to the left side. He gets it down to about the 7-ish yard line. And it's going to be enough for the first down, 1st and goal here inside the 10-yard line, as we just mentioned. So
7-yard line. So, yeah, good run by Bogner, right up the middle. And see if they can pound it in here and get back in this game.
And his plate is going to be much more full. Taking all the handoffs here with Phillips out, and Bogner's going to get another carry here.
Got to about the 5.
Yeah, maybe about 1 yard. It's going to be 2nd down. Give him about 1 to 2 yards.
And not to be too over dramatic, but you have to score here.
Yeah, definitely have to score. This is 4-down territory.
Yeah, you've got to put it in the end zone to get back in this game and kind of stop the onslaught of Fairport Harbor so far, because, they can still move the ball. And, the other thing, too, Jack Phillips, just like most of these kids, plays both ways. So
he does start at safety.
If he's out, you're missing a safety.
Alec drops back here. He then has to run. Tries to run through a Fairport defender, and that was a broken play. The offensive line essentially almost let that whole front line.
He lowered his shoulder and got to about the 3-yard line. So
definitely made it a more manageable 3rd and goal here. Good job by Alec Phillips not taking that big loss in the backfield. As we have Jack Phillips still trying to get loose onto the sideline. Yeah. We probably won't see him the rest of this drive, but good chance he re-enters this game at some point.
The good news is he's up and moving around, so that's good. Touchdown.
And we get a handoff. Austin Bogner walks that one in for Buckeye Central's first touchdown of this game with 5:24 remaining before we get to halftime. And that was a big score for the Bucks.
Not only because you needed a score, but to do it with your quarterback on the sideline has to give your other kids on the offensive unit some confidence, I would think.
Yeah, they were able to get a 4th down conversion as well as a 3rd down conversion.
Those were huge.
They executed the money downs with their quarterback out. They're going to stay out there for a 2-point conversion.
Oh, bad snap.
They sell out for the run. Quarterback falls, and
play's dead.
Play is then ruled dead. So in a typical world, you can return that, but it's going to be a dead ball. 2-point conversion unsuccessful for Buckeye Central. They still trail, but it's now 21-6 with 5:24 remaining before halftime.
Good luck to our high school and junior high cross-country teams competing tonight at the Stars, Stripes, and Lights Invitational at Seneca East High School. There are approximately 80 teams in this year's event divided into
but big score for Buckeye Central. They needed that. That's understating it, I would say, with how Fairport has played offensively. But now this is the biggest key for them is trying to find a way to get a stop defensively, which they've failed to do. The Skippers have been able to run the ball. They've been able to throw the ball. They had the big play in the pass game for their last touchdown, but otherwise it's been mostly the run game led by John Costello.
Yeah, the thing, too, now is, okay, you've proven that you can score. Now you've got to show if you can stop the other team from scoring again, because, you know, if you get into a shootout with this team, it might be tough.
And it almost kind of has turned into a shootout with how quickly the Skippers have been able to put up points here. And I had said John Castellano. I meant Abraham Castellano, so it's hard to keep him, you know.
One of the Castellanos. We've got a few of them.
They play everywhere on the field on both ways,
Yep.
so they're a little hard to keep track of. They've got a receiver, they've got a running back, and they've got another. So
There's a squib.
we get a little squib here for that Buckeye Central kick team, and the tight end big tight end gets it
Yeah,
here.
Dan Bellina, you know, you don't want him in the open field.
He was able to pick that one up with one hand in the air and kind of just put it in his arm and try to get a ton of yards
So
here.
they're going to have really good field position here as well. They're going to be at the Buckeye 48.
Yeah, this has definitely been a game that has been predominantly inside the 30s, so 30 to 30 for both teams. Couple of big plays as well, and 2 red zone drives.
Yeah, I don't know about the time of possession, but they've scored pretty quickly a couple of times. So
They've also had the ball more than that time of possession. We'll have to see what that looks like at halftime. But we get a handoff here to Abraham Castellano once again. Almost broke that one loose, but a good tackle in open space for the Bucks defense is going to limit that to about a 5 or 6 yard gain. So second and
6.
Yeah, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, but Buckeye has to do a better job of, you know, wrapping him up, holding on to him, getting, you know, multiple jerseys on him, and not just letting one guy try to bring him down, because he's quick and he's also, you know, pretty strong and hard to bring down. So
Yeah, swarm tackling.
yeah,
tackling.
you've got to get some jerseys over there.
Fairport going to stick to their bread and butter here. They've got the 2 receiver look.
Oh, he's in trouble. Oh, they got him.
And we get another sack for that Bucks defense. That defensive line has done very good so far. That's their 4th sack, I believe.
Dorsey and Cole were in there.
So once again, a long 3rd down here for Fairport. One of their hardest plays and downs to distance so far in this game. And it's going to be a long 3rd down here right at about midfield.
It's their 3rd or 4th sack, you know, so they've been able to get some pressure at times, but not quite enough to offset the big plays of Fairport Harbor.
Yeah, 3rd and 12 here. We're going to get the snap, the rollout to the left side. Lawson's going to keep it, and he's going to get enough for the 1st down. No one was ever open downfield, but there was a lot of open space there, and the quarterback keeps it, moves the chains.
Problem is there's no contain over there. When you've got, you know, the receivers going to the right and he's sweeping to the left, somebody has to be responsible for staying over there. And that time nobody was.
Yep, someone's got to take that stay-home responsibility, as you mentioned it.
Yeah.
And the defensive line kind of got sucked into the interior there, and it led to some room for Lawson to take that one up through the left for a Fairport 1st down. So they're now inside the 40 here, 3:42 and counting. We get a handoff to Omar Castellano on the motion. Makes a couple hard cuts. Another one. He's still running. Still going. Another cut. And then a big tackle. But what a play there from Omar Castellano.
He was almost trapped several times in the backfield, and he managed to turn that into a huge gain down to the 12-yard line.
3 terrific cuts made there by the receiver. The lead receiver for Fairport takes this one inside of the red zone. And once again, the Skippers threatening to put up some points here right before halftime. Now 3:16 and counting, 21-6. So we've got a pistol look here. Lawson with the running back, Abraham Castellano, behind him. He gets the handoff up the middle, breaks a tackle, and then he gets pulled down.
And the rush by number 3, Abraham Castellano.
Got about 2 yards there on that one.
Number 50, Joshua Dorsey.
Dorsey in on the tackle.
They're going to give him 4, so 2nd and 6 here. 2nd and 6 at the 9 as well, so they don't actually have to score inside of that 10-yard line, so they can get another first down, then score if needed. But this is definitely 4-down territory for the Skippers.
And definitely not what Buckeye wanted. That was a play that should have been stopped in the backfield, and they just made a great effort to get the gain, and now they're knocking on the door.
And we get another motion. It's going to be a throw to that motion. Omar Castellano makes a cut in, and then a spin move, gets hit and tackled, though.
Number 12, Yomar Castellano.
Another 4-yard gain, but he just, like a whirling derby, spins and twists and, just does everything to keep the play alive.
We had mentioned that they're not being very big, but potentially having a lot of speed, and
Extremely
they've got a lot of
athletic.
athleticism out there in the skill room.
Extremely athletic, and just, tough to defend. I mean, they've had those guys trapped several times, and they got out of trouble and turned it into big gains.
Seems like all the big plays have been via broken tackles as well, but
Got a timeout.
we get a timeout here
Timeout, Buckeye Central.
for the Buckeye Central defense. Once again, they are trailing 21-6, 1:39 remaining here in the first half, and once again, it was a big 3rd down conversion for Fairport right at midfield that kept this possession alive.
Yep. We can take a quick break. You're listening to high school football on WBCO and streaming live on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
683
you're live.
3581.
Welcome back to the action here out of that timeout. We get a handoff from Lawson to the running back, Abraham Castellano. And he's in for a touchdown. Another nice athletic move there. The shiftiness of the Castellanos, I should say.
Yeah.
Puts another touchdown on the board for Fairport here in the first half. They now lead 27-6, minute 31 remaining in the half, and it looks like it's going to be the PAT team going out there to try to extend this lead by another point.
A 4-yard touchdown run by Castellano. And
the PAT attempt is up and through. So it's going to move it to 28-6 here, and as long as we get a good onside kick here by the hands team, we're going to get hopefully Jack Philliphs back out there for Buckeye Central for a drive before the half to try to cut this deficit back down to 2 scores.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to do something to get on the board here and not go into halftime down by 3 touchdowns, or not giving them the ball back and take the, even bigger risk of them scoring and going up, by 4 scores, which would be almost impossible to come back from.
I think that's very important to note as well in these onside kick situations. There's been a couple linemen out there consistently that Fairport has found. They've kicked at those players and they've struggled to recover. So got to have the hands team out there if you're the Bucks, especially with an opportunity to get that touchdown back right before halftime.
Lovely day for birthdays today. I had another request for Miss Taylor Collins, who's turning 17 today. Congratulations, Taylor.
Both teams talking things over here in the huddles before we get to this kickoff, Buckeye Central out there on the field. They're ready to go. Fairport taking their time, as they have most of this game, but they've scored in frenzies. They've scored fast. They've scored taking up a lot of time, slowing down. But they've been able to play both ways offensively, and it's definitely made life difficult for the Bucks defense. And now both kickoff teams are out there, and we're going to see what magic happens again on one of these kickoffs. Probably not kicking it off deep. They haven't done it once, and I don't envision them doing it at any point in this game.
It's pretty impressive they got a kickoff specialist on a...
We do get a kickoff relatively deep here. Buckeye Central fumbles it around, though.
Number 4, Colin Perry receives the kick.
The receiver, Perry, struggled with it. He ends up just falling on it. So for the first time in this game for either team, they're playing deep in their own territory.
Yeah, that's unusual.
And they're going to have to try to march down the field and get a score here. Minute 28 remaining. And the quarterback, Jack Phillips, is back out there.
That's
good sight.
Yeah.
He was holding that lower leg when he first came out of the game to injury, and it seems like he's healthy enough to go back out there after spending some time with the trainer.
Yeah, hopefully he's good and get Buckeye back onto their schedule of offense. Although they did a nice job with him out of there, too.
They did do a nice job with him out of there. We're going to get a handoff to Bogner. Nice cut. Gets it up the middle.
Handoff to Austin Bogner.
It's going to be about 8-ish yards. At least from my eyes. It's going to give him about 7. So actually second and a long 3 here.
Yep.
Clock is ticking, so Buckeye Central playing it a little conservative here.
You got if you're going to try to score, you got to get a little urgency, and they don't seem to be looking that way. But probably look for some passes here.
2 receivers to both sides. Drop back pass here for Phillips. A quick short one. Almost another interception. Wasn't anywhere near the intended receiver, Caudell.
Yeah, he was looking for Caudell, but just kind of mistimed.
Mistimed. The route wasn't what it was intended to be.
I saw a lot of that last night with Bucyrus. They were struggling to make, throw behind the receiver, throw over the receiver's head. Sometimes the timing just isn't what it should be.
That's exactly right, and that also stops the clock here for the 3rd and short. With 53 seconds remaining, we get a handoff to Bogner. A huge run commit there from that Fairport defense, but it's not enough to keep it from being a first down. So it'll move the chains here. Clock still ticking for Buckeye Central, and again, no urgency. I think they're content with just trying to take this one into the half, but I would try to get a quick score here.
Maybe a pass to Alec Phillips or something to get a big play, but
yeah, Alec Phillips has been very quiet, and then we get a huge sack. That'll be another loss for Buckeye Central offensively.
It's about a 9-yard loss. That's a big one. That's going to take us to the half. I don't think they're even going to attempt to run a play.
I'm surprised Fairport isn't calling their timeouts to try to get the ball back here with such a long second down.
They could do that, but it looks like we're under 10 seconds, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are content and willing to take this one into the half, more on the satisfied side for Fairport, but that'll be the first half. 28-6 lead for Fairport on the road here at Buckeye Central. We'll be back after the halftime show, ONN. So I'm Trayvon Hastings, this is Anthony Conchel, and you're listening to high school football on Country Legends WBCO and streaming on the OH Report.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Item at regular price cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Tonight's halftime show on WBCO being brought to you by Fire Feed and Supply, fueling farms, igniting care.
From the Ohio News Network, this is the Ohio Education Association Tonight in High School Football. Named Best Sports Program in the Country by the National Association of State Radio Networks. Tonight in High School Football is presented by Beck's Hybrids and by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Now here's your host,
last selection is one of the most popular songs from 2019 and the first single from an artist born in the 21st century to reach the #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Here's the smash hit from Billie Eilish, Bad Guy. Ladies and gentlemen, give another round of applause to your Fairport Harbor Marching Band. We hope you all have a fabulous day. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the field, your Buckeye Central Marching Show Band. Under the direction of Mrs. Megan Heiler, assisted by Mr. David Bourne and Major Advisor Savannah Fennessy. Originally released in 2012, this chart-topping anthem by vocal powerhouse Kelly Clarkson took the world by storm. This song was an anthem of the decade, reminding us all, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Next up, it's Saturday night, and salvation never sounded so fierce. Get ready for Panic at the Discos. Say amen Saturday night.
Boy, was that a higher scoring first half, more so for Fairport than it was for Buckeye Central, but they really controlled the line of scrimmage. They controlled the big plays as well, both offensively and defensively. They got a turnover, and they're executing in the special teams. It was really all Fairport there in that first half.
Yeah, except for that one drive that Buckeye Central put together there in the second quarter. You know, we were talking during the break a little bit. This is just a little bit of an unorthodox look or a different look, and I think Buckeye Central is trying to figure out, okay, I'm sure they looked at their first two games on film or whatever, but when you see it on the field, they just have had difficulty kind of adjusting, and the speed, the elusiveness of the Castellanos and just the whole, all the skill players, the quarterback, everybody. I just think Buckeye Central needs to figure out how do we get these guys on the ground, because they've had several instances where they've had the running back trapped in the backfield with a couple defenders around him, and he found a way to break loose and get a big gain. Those are the plays that have killed Buckeye Central in that first half. And
you mentioned the speed and the elusiveness, and I like to use the word shifty. I mean, obviously athletic. I mean, that comes with the territory.
Very shifty, very athletic, and balanced. I mean, when we get to the numbers, you know, we're going to see that, you know, they have a pretty balanced attack from, you know, running and passing. We thought coming in, we talked a little bit, okay, this is a team that likes to throw the ball. They can run the ball too.
Yeah, you kind of transitioned right into what I wanted to get into, which was the stats for that first half. It was a lot of balance for Fairport and also a lot of time of possession for Fairport. They really did control the first half.
Yeah, if we want to look at the numbers for Buckeye Central, they carried the ball 21 times, but only a net of 40 yards. First downs. But when you look at Fairport Harbor, they had 17 rushes, 157 yards, and completed 5 of 7 passes for 120 for 277, 8 first downs, and 3 penalties for 15 yards. So again, 157 on the ground and 120 in the air. That's a pretty balanced attack. Most coaches would be really happy with that, and that's what's made it difficult for Buckeye. They're not facing a one-dimensional team.
And on top of that, the biggest thing that's really opened the game up for Fairport to have a 22-point lead here at halftime is the turnover by Phillips to open up the game with the interception, and also just the whole onside kick dynamic. It's really worked. Yeah. It's kind of got them off balance a little bit. It's really got them off balance. It shot them in the foot a little bit. When they got a few of those onsides, they got them into the end zone. But this has definitely been a game inside not just the 40s but also the 30s in terms of field position, where teams are starting. And despite the really good field position for both teams, one team's been able to execute it and the other team has not been able to, and on the losing end of that so far has been Buckeye Central.
Yeah, having seen Buckeye earlier in the year against Crestline and having seen them over the years, you know, they're a small team. They fight very hard even when they're behind. They don't give up, and the skill players they do have gives them the opportunity, I think, to try to catch up, because they can throw the ball and they have some speed of their own. But the question is, can they get something going? They're going to get the ball, or they're going to not get the ball. They're going to kick off to Fairport to start the second half. You got to get a stop there and kind of change the momentum if you want to get back into this.
And we had a off broadcast discussion about Fairport and their unique offense using the pre-snap motion every single play, and it's worked out beautifully for them offensively. Yep. Buckeye Central can't get a read on, is the motion guy getting the ball in the pass? Is he getting the ball off the motion in the run? Who's getting the ball in general?
It's a lot for a high school athlete, high school football player playing defense to think about. Sometimes you just get an assignment. This is your hole. This is your guy. With this team, there's a lot to think about mentally, and I think that's kind of what's presented the problems for Buckeye.
And Fairport's kept it short in their passing game. They've established a rhythm with their quarterback, Brady Lawson, except for that post-route touchdown for 75 yards to Brandon Gibson Jr. Really in my opinion, big highlight play of the half outside of what the running back Abraham Castellano has been able to do in the ground game for the Skippers. He's really taken over this game.
He has 9 carries for 94 yards himself unofficially. So, they've just been able to use a lot of weapons and, as you said, keep Buckeye Central kind of off balance and guessing as to what's coming next.
And Castellano had 75 of those yards in that first quarter, so he really took control of the game early and often, and then Fairport kind of incorporated some other aspects in that second quarter when all the attention was on their running back. For Buckeye Central, I think it's really important. Obviously, they got to get that stop coming out of half. If they don't, though, it really comes in that kickoff team. They have to get that onside kick every time. They have to establish good field position, and then also when they do drop back to try to pass, they got to have good protection. They haven't had it all half when Jack Phillips has wanted to throw the football. So trying to get more targets to Alec Phillips should be one of the top priorities for the Bucks. He's only been targeted 2 or 3 times, and he only has 1 catch. So I think it's really important that they try to establish a rhythm with the Phillips connection. They've targeted Hunter Cadill a lot, but he's been relatively ineffective, and Phillips has been off target when trying to find him in the passing game.
Alec Phillips has 1 catch for 18, and Cotto has 2 catches for a net of 23, and they've gotten Jack Phillips twice unofficially for sacks and a couple other for just 0 or 1 yard gain. So they've kept him kind of bottled up.
Yeah, and I think for both teams, there's just been a lot of sacks. Fairport has taken 4 sacks, so I think if they do drop back to pass and they take a couple shots deep and they try to catch that secondary sleeping, the Bucks' defensive line has done a very good job getting in the backfield on that aspect.
Yep, bands completed their halftime show, and both teams are coming back. We should take a break, throw it back to the station. You're listening to High School Football on Country Legends, WBCO, and streaming live on the OH Report.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got 1 man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Welcome back to Buckeye Central. I'm Trayvon Hastings. With me is my color man, Anthony Control, and we're getting ready to start this second half here, and it's going to be very important early on that Buckeye Central can kind of try to flip the script defensively and get a stop here, get the ball, try to score if they want to get back into this game. For Fairport, they score, they go for 2. It's 30-point game and running clock. So I think that should be their mentality in this game.
Yeah, Buckeye Central wants to extend the game. They don't want to get that running clock. Maybe a turnover by Buckeye Central, maybe something to kind of give them a spark to get them back in the game, eliminate the running clock for the moment and kind of get a little bit of a rhythm of their own. Otherwise, you could be looking at a quick second half here.
Yep, and maybe an onside kick of their own here to open up the second half. We've seen enough of them.
Yeah, you're down 3 scores. I mean, you probably could take a chance. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. They've proven, Fairport Harbor has proven they can score no matter where they get the ball. Multiple weapons, as we said. You've got to do something, be proactive, not to let them come out and just, take it to you again.
And even if we don't see that running clock, it's going to probably be running most of the half just because of the way Fairport's probably going to try to hit the ground and pound game here, at least in this third quarter.
Yeah, they'll probably give it to Castellano a bunch and just kind of chew up some clock. And, the way he's been running, why not? He's got almost 100 yards on the ground in the first half.
I definitely think the second half / halftime talk for Buckeye Central is we have to wrap up and tackle.
Yeah.
We got to get multiple bodies to these very shifty skill players that Fairport has, and we got to wrap up and tackle.
If you went back and watched the film and counted number of missed tackles or missed opportunities, I'm sure Buckeye was going to be, making that a point of emphasis when they watch film on Sunday or Monday.
Sick to their stomach indeed. I would agree there, and we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an onside. I mean, you're down 22 points. You're gonna have to get some. You're gonna have to get some things to go your way if you want to get back into this game. And part of that could be special teams, turnovers, but also Buckeye Central has not hit a big play yet. So
right.
I mean, that's the other thing as well.
Yep, you can get a big play on offense or defense, but they need something in a hurry.
They've got to try to score and score fast if they can. Both kickoff teams out there about to get things underway here for half number 2. Once again, 28-6, Fairport in the lead. On the road at Buckeye Central, we do get kind of a squib on side-ish kick. It doesn't bounce at all. It just kind of slowly, very short above the field, above the grass. It's going to roll out of bounds. It's going to be a penalty, and Fairport's going to take over here. So poorly executed kick there for Buckeye Central. And the Skippers will take over here and try to, once again, assert their dominance offensively over this Buckeye Central defense.
So we're going to be at the 35, 36-yard line. So Fairport with a little bit longer field to work with here.
Going to have the typical 2 receiver with receiver up top look here for Fairport. They get a handoff to the shifty back himself, Abraham Castellano. His busy day continues here. Carry number 10 for him. That's going to put him near the century mark, not quite.
Yeah, it's going to put him right about 99 yards. But, yeah, shifty is a perfect word for that kid.
Yeah, he's not big in stature, but he's really fast. We get a reverse here. The handoff to Abraham Castellano then goes to the motioning receiver. We get one cutback, a couple of other broken tackles in a big game.
It's going to come back, Trayvon. There's 2 flags down in the backfield, probably a hold.
And good eye for me there. That is indeed the call. And that big play is going to come back, but that could have been
that could have been
that could have been brutal.
That could have been a backbreaker for Buckeye Central. Fortunately for them, it was a pretty obvious holding call, and the officials got it, so that's going to push it back 10 yards. I was watching the trailing because I could see the wall setting up, and a lot of times that's when you get your holding penalty. So that'll be back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, there was a lot of bodies there in the muck of things, but very unique play there for Fairport. They took that motioning receiver, and they actually didn't motion him until the snap. So he then came across almost like a zone split block.
They've got a lot of different looks and formations. It is difficult to know what they're going to do.
And additionally, they kind of stick to the same 2 or 3 formations and run a lot of different stuff out of it. We get one of those short screens again, but it was dropped low in front of the receiver, Omar Castellano. That's going to move it to 3rd down and about 15 to 16 here.
A couple self-inflicted things. First the holding, and then, not just the drop pass or kind of a low pass on the ground. So, Buckeye needs to hold them here and force a punt. Maybe, as you say, flip it and kind of get back into this thing.
And this is what we talked about as well, needing a couple things to bounce in Buckeye Central's favor. It's the self-inflicted wounds by Fairport have shot themselves in the foot here, and they face a long, long 3rd down. They're going to try to get some of these yards back at least. Quarterback Brady Lawson is going to drop back. He's going to throw it deep. The receiver Castellano is going to make the catch, a cutback as well. That's going to be a 1st down for the Skippers. What a throw and catch by Lawson and Omar Castellano, making a big jump ball catch there against the DB one-on-one.
35 yards, another 1st down, and there's an opportunity to get off the field, and they convert on 3rd and 16 with a long gain down to the Buckeye 35-yard line. That's what they've been doing.
And that ball was in the air for a while. It kind of sailed with the wind that we have.
Didn't know where it was going to end up, but he went up and made a nice catch.
I was going to say, it didn't matter for Fairport. We get a QB keeper here for Lawson. He goes almost nowhere. Ball pops out late. Refs are going to say he was down.
You got to give him about a half-yard gain, but it almost looked like a broken play to me.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe
too.
he missed the handoff or didn't. They didn't execute it, and then he, at least got a half-yard back.
I was just going to say it looked like the handoff exchange got a little bottled up there, and Lawson was just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he was actually able to gain about half a yard.
Yep. Fairport taking their time, run some clock down.
Going with the 2 receiver look now towards their sideline at the top. We get another one of these short screens. Omar Castellano makes another hard, shifty cut, and then a tackle backwards, so he's going to gain some extra yardage there, and that's going to be another Skipper's 1st down. They're sticking to their bread and butter, what their game is. They're throwing it short, and they're allowing their skill players to make a lot of plays, breaking tackles, making defenders miss, and once again, getting another 1st down.
16 more yards.
So inside of the red zone here is the Fairport offense right about at that 18-yard line. Likely going to see a handoff here for them. They're actually going to drop back and pass. Thought about throwing it short. Lawson wanted to go deep. He's going to keep it. We get a flag on the play, though.
You got about
near that line of scrimmage.
Got about 4 yards, but maybe coming back. A hold? Yep.
Another hold on that Fairport offensive line, who did struggle in the pass protection part of the game against the Buckeye Central front in that 1st half. 4 sacks for the Buckeye Central defense.
Yeah. Omar Castellano, just 3 catches, but 55 yards. And, again, the weapons that they have, it's just really tough for Buckeye Central to match up with them. Now they've got a 1st and 20.
And it has not mattered the down and distance for that offense. They've been able to get those yards back and get them back fast. And now they have likely 4 downs to get these 20 yards. So they don't have to get a lot here to try to get back to manageable territory. We get a unique counter handoff in front of the quarterback, Lawson. It's not going to go anywhere, as Castellano had a rare run for about no yards.
Yeah, Fortner and Owen Hatton in there for the stop for Buckeye Central. Yeah.
Ball once again pops loose after the play, so
no gain.
Fairport going to have to be careful with the covering of the football, trying to be a little bit more conservative for the ball carriers. An aggressive Buckeye Central defense is going to try to knock the ball out and get a turnover here.
Yeah, you got to try anything at this point to slow them down, and turnover would be great.
We get 4 receivers, 3 in a trips look towards the Buckeye Central sideline. Lawson once again on the run, scrambling for his life here. He's able to pick up some yards, run through the defensive
that
back.
Could be a flag. He got hit out of bounds, but they didn't call it, fortunately, for Buckeye.
Official's not going to call it. Good call there. I started to think that myself.
Could have been, but it wasn't too egregious, but he shouldered him and knocked him down. But that's going to be another first down, I believe, for Fairport.
No, so I'm getting back to the initial line of scrimmage.
Okay, now we're back. Okay, 3rd and 10. Okay.
So good 10 yards there for the quarterback, who Lawson hasn't ran much, but there's been times when he's dropped back that he's had to run, frankly, and I think that's the goal for Buckeye Central's defense in the second half. They got to get them in long passing downs and try to get some pressure. We get another pass here. Lawson's going to throw this one deep. It goes over the DB. Another touchdown for number 1, Brandon Gibson Jr. He adds to his total as well as the quarterback Lawson's total and the point total for the Skippers. They now lead 34-6 here, and they're going to go with that PAT team, it looks like, so they're not going to go for 2 and try to get this thing to 30 and running clock.
They probably feel like they've got enough offense that they can score another one, so going to do the extra point kick by number 20. Aman Abdumalikov.
Yep, Abdumalikov, unique name. Actually misses that one, so second missed PAT for him. Last time that had happened, Fairport then went out for the 2-point conversion. We'll likely see that again if they score, but we'll take a quick time out. Fairport in the lead, 34-6. You're listening to High School Football on Country Legends, WBCO, and streaming live on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
Anthony Conchel, and another touchdown scoring drive for the Skippers with a beautiful ball by Lawson over the DB's head to what is his lead receiver in this game, Brandon Gibson Jr.
Yeah, 2 catches for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good afternoon.
He's in his Randy Moss element here.
He sure is.
As we get a kickoff deep for once to Buckeye Central. We get a nice cutback on a big return for the Bucks special teams unit that's going to put them in roughly the area of the field they've worked in all game with all the onside kicks.
I think that was Cottle. Nice return from about the 23 to about the 44.
Yep, it was Perry.
Oh, Perry, okay. All right, good field position to 44. You've got to, obviously we keep saying it, but you've just got to get something going here if you're the Bucks. You got to get on the board. You got to make a drive. Otherwise, you risk giving up another touchdown and going into that running clock situation, which they don't want to do.
Yeah, they've got good field position once again. They haven't been able to execute it much. We get a stiff arm attempt here by Bogner in the backfield.
Austin Bogner taken down by number 2 for Fairport.
But a really good tackle there by Fairport in open space for no gain. So the run attempt on play number 1 of this drive unsuccessful for Buckeye Central.
Yeah,
and at some point they're going to have to try to air this thing out and get points in a frenzy because they can't take up too much time here being down at the deficit they are.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to the air here.
We get a DB blitz here off the edge. Doesn't matter, though. Phillips gets that one out quickly to number 2. Hunter Caudill, he's had a very busy day in terms of the targets. That's his 8th or 9th ball that he's seen come his way. He gets some yardage there, about 6 or 7 there. So
3rd and 4, Buckeye Central.
it's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Buckeye Central offense. Also now in opponent territory, so I would assume 2 downs for about 4 yards. Phillips drops back, looks for Alec Phillips. He gets the completion and first down. So that'll move the chains for the Bucks offense.
Alec Phillips for a Buckeye Central first down.
I'd also expect a little bit more urgency from that offense. They're definitely taking their time and they're getting back into a rhythm as they should, but at some point they've got to play a little bit with a little bit more pace and tempo. We get 2 receiver looks both to the left and right side. It's just a handoff to Bogner. Doesn't go for much, just about 1 or 2 yards here.
Yeah, they're going to give him a yard. Yeah, running the ball up the middle, getting a yard or 2 and the clock ticking away, that's not a formula to catch up, but I think Buckeye's just doing what they're comfortable with right now.
Yeah, the big tight end, Dan Bellina, who's been busy on both sides of the ball, made that tackle. He's definitely someone to monitor
he's a force
on that defensive line. Same look here for Buckeye Central, 2 receivers to both sides. We get a motion by Phillips, and it's going to be a handoff for him. Doesn't get much again, just a couple yards, and it's going to be a long 3rd down.
Jack hands it off to Alec. Swallowed up by Fairport's defensive line.
So it's going to be about a 3rd and medium here, about 6 yards. So again, I'd say 2 downs for 6 yards. They don't have to throw on this, but it would be ideal if they could pick the yards up via the pass.
Screen's open too.
As we get another stack 2 receiver look on both sides, 3rd time in a row they've ran this look. Another motion for Phillips. Jack Phillips running for his life here. He tries to get it to number 2, Caudill again. He falls incomplete with him again. So they just haven't found a sync that pair hasn't in this game.
Trayvon, they're rushing 3 and dropping 8 and still getting pressure on Phillips.
And that says a lot. It's definitely concerning, but I also think with the 3-man front and the 8 dropping back, it's a good opportunity to try to sneak a run in there if they can, maybe bounce to the outside. I think Fairport's going to bring some pressure here on this 4th down, 4th and 6 for Buckeye Central. Ball at the 37-yard line of Fairport, so in opponent territory here.
Timeout, Buckeye Central.
But we're going to get a timeout here for Buckeye Central. We're also going to take a quick timeout. You're listening to High School Football on Country Legends, WBCO, and streaming live on the OH Report.
I'm Steve Krall, president of First Federal Community Bank. And here at First Federal Community Bank, our playbook consists of the 3 C's: care, curiosity, and courage. Just like your team, our 3 C's strengthen our communities and our team here at First Federal Community Bank. On behalf of our team here at First Federal, we want to wish all of our area teams and coaches the best of luck this season. Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to Buckeye Central. I'm Trayvon Hastings, with me, Anthony Conchel, and this is a big 4th down for Buckeye Central as both teams are coming back from the Buckeye Central timeout.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question they have to convert this and try to score. Otherwise, this is going to get away from them, and we're getting too close to the end of the 3rd quarter to try to play catch up.
Yeah, just 4:42 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Really good point there. The clock's kind of just sneakily disappeared, and we get that same look the Buckeye Central started the game with, the linemen with 3 receivers to one side, and then they try to go one-on-one to Alec Phillips at the top. but the ball is high. It sails over Phillips. He wasn't able to catch it, and that's a turnover on downs for the Bucks offense.
Yeah, got him open and just couldn't quite connect. They've struggled with that this afternoon.
And that's going to be a change in possession. Ball now in Fairport's hands. This is, for them, one of the worst starting field positions they've also had in this game. They're going to be on the opposite side, so the left side of the 40-yard line in this case.
As you noted earlier, it doesn't seem to matter where they are on the field. They've got weapons, and they're able to score and able to move the football.
Yeah, ball at the 37-yard line. They're going to try to take some time off the clock here as well. 4:37 left in the third quarter. We get that same play that they tried earlier with the holding penalty, and it's going to get broken loose here. Could be a big play down the sideline. 20, 15, 10, 5. Almost a touchdown for Fairport.
That's number 2, Abraham Castellano, once again. We got a penalty.
And just like the last time, we get a late holding penalty called for Fairport's offense. It's going to bring them back.
That's the second time that Buckeye Central has really, dodged a bullet and been helped by Fairport's mistakes in a holding penalty.
And not only that, it was the second time on the same play design. They've tried to get that play to work. It's a handoff to the running back, Abraham Castellano, and then it's a handoff in front of Castellano then to a motioning receiver, and it's a really unique reverse play.
He takes so much time juking and jumping around that the lineman feels like he can't hold his block, so he grabs. As someone who's played some offensive line back in the day, you only can hold a block so long, and then you're going to grab the guy.
And on top of that, they're trying to pull a guard on that as well, and it just turns into, if the Bucks do this, a lot of pressure up the middle if they're blitzing and sending extra guys and that aren't accounted for.
When your running back's dancing around, keeping the play alive, that's great. But as a lineman, you've got to be disciplined and not grab that jersey. And obviously that's what's happened. So we're back to the 37.
Yep. It'll be 1st and 10 here with the penalty. Lawson tries to get that one to his receiver, Omar Castellano. It falls incomplete in front of him, a little too wide, but yeah, that gain was so big on that holding penalty. They actually didn't lose any penalty yards. It just brought it back to the spot to make it a 1st and 10. It's now 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 37-yard line here. 4:18 remaining. Fairport in control, 34-6. Going to get the same, one of the few formations we've had. We got a receiver at the top and bottom. That 2 tight end look, receiver bunched in tight at the line of scrimmage, and then the pistol formation, a handoff here to Abraham Costello once again, and he's able to break a couple tackles in the backfield that would have been a sizable loss, gets back to the line of scrimmage and more to make this a good 5 yards.
Almost 5 yards out of almost nothing, and just by squirming and keeping his legs moving and just being very difficult to get to the ground.
He gained 5 yards that he probably should have lost off of the handoff, and that's a big swing in obviously yardage and momentum.
Yeah, of all the running backs I've seen recently, he's really one of the most shifty and elusive that I've seen, and he's not very big.
Not very big at all. I'd be curious if they had roster sizes what his would be.
They don't have his height and weight, but I can tell you he's not a big fellow at all.
Lawson rolls out to his left. He finds another Castellano. Omar for 13, a catch, breaks another tackle.
13 yards and another 1st down, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, even when they look like they're struggling and scrambling, they find a way to make a complete pass.
And that was a designed rollout to the left. Lawson finding his receiver on a corner route. Nice catch for one of the lead targets for that offense, and that'll move the chains for another 1st down here.
I don't know who Fairport Harbor, the teams on their schedule, I don't know much about them, but they could make some noise, and you could be looking at this team somewhere down the road in the playoffs. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons.
And
not a lot of numbers, but a lot of weapons of the kids that are out there.
And with that expanded playoff format, they don't have to win a lot of games to get in. And if they can hold off and get win number 3 here, they'll probably be in the postseason. We get a short bubble screen to Brandon Gibson Jr. He's had a big day. He's got 2 catches with 2 touchdowns. Can't score that one, but he can get a big 1st down.
That's 21 more yards. He's another one that kind of jukes and slips and slides, and next thing you know, he's 20 yards downfield, and Buckeyes just having a heck of a time getting these guys on the ground.
So no more Randy Moss game for Gibson. Not a touchdown on every catch, but
he's got
he's had that effect still.
He's got 3 catches for over 100 yards, so he's had a pretty good day. Castellanos have had a pretty good day. Quarterbacks had a good, their offense has just done really well.
They've been able to run. They've been able to pass.
Yep.
On this first down. They're going to try a pass deep. Once again, Lawson, the completion over the head of the defensive back once again. This time to number 11, Shane Greenwood, who's been very quiet on both sides of the ball, but he gets the touchdown there, and it's now 40-6 Fairport. They've been targeting that defensive back room for Buckeye Central, and they've been converting.
And we now have a running clock.
Yep, running clock in effect here. We're going to get the PAT team out there once again for Fairport. Late lineman tries to run onto the field here. Very important, but we're going to get a flag. And one of the officials is signaling false start here. It's going to push this kick back 5 yards. They're still going to try and get this PAT. It's a little bit longer than usual, so.
It's going to make this kick a bit longer.
Running clock in effect here, so down to under a minute. The touchdown with PAT is good. So 41-6 lead here for Fairport. We're going to keep it here since we're about to near the end of the quarter anyway, so don't want to go into 2 successive breaks with us here for about 15 seconds probably. But yeah, the running clock now into effect. Fairport looking to get out of Dodge in a road game with a big victory and a very convincing one-sided one.
Yeah, so far it's been, all Fairport. And it's going to be a very, tough night. I'll interview Coach Jordan Phillips for Buckeye after the game for our story on Crawford County Now. And, I'm sure he's going to be, point to the things we've talked about. Missed tackles, giving up big plays, just not being able to sustain anything offensively other than that one drive, which ironically happened when Jack Phillips was out with a short injury there for a few plays, and they managed to score. So, yeah, it's been a long afternoon for Buckeye Central, but, you got to keep your head up and, try to score here and kind of get back into the thing with just barely a minute left in the third quarter.
Yeah, they scored that touchdown with their quarterback out with injury. Yeah. They finished the drive off with a touchdown, and we haven't gone back to that look at all.
It kind of looked like maybe, we're going to get a little something going here, and then just didn't.
Yeah, that touchdown cut it to 21-6, and then we had the big 75-yarder to Gibson Jr., which really took any and all momentum out.
I was going to say, I think that kind of took the wind out of their sails, with that one. Nice long kick.
We get a good kick off deep here. It's caught, but player on the ground when he catches it. So that's essentially what a fair catch would be.
Louis Reichland, number 44, a freshman, maybe he was just unsure, so he just did the safe thing by taking a knee there.
And Reichland's been targeted on the 2 touchdowns, that the deep ones that Lawson has just had here recently. So they're finding the weakness in that defense, and they're exploiting it.
They've got some young players out there for Buckeye, and, when you have a small roster, that's going to happen. And if they're going to run a play here, just let the clock run down. Looks like they're going to just, they're not going to snap it.
I was just going to say, it looks like they're content with letting this play. We do get the snap off before the end of the quarter, though, and it's a big loss in the backfield. Well timed there, and when there's 1 second left, when the snap's coming. So Fairport gets into the backfield. We head to the fourth quarter with Fairport in the lead, 41-6. You're listening to high school football on Country Legends WBCO and streaming live on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Just in the first half, but also the second half.
Yeah, it's been a rough afternoon, as we said, for Buckeye Central, trailing 41-6. Came in here 2-0, looking to maybe go 3-0 into the Northern 10 season, but that's not going to happen this afternoon. They're going to suffer their first loss, but they've got to keep fighting, try to move the ball here and see if they can get something on the board.
Yeah, that would have been their first 3-0 start since 2022. The botched handoff exchange with Bogner.
Bogner had it up around his shoulder pads, which is not where you want your running back to have the football.
Had it in his hands. He then kind of tossed it up.
Yeah.
Had to recollect himself there and get a couple of yards. He ended up getting about 7 or 8.
Actually did a pretty good job just to keep it. He got about 2, actually, I think they're going to say. Yeah, I think they're going to say 2. Maybe. Yeah, it's a 22-yard line. But he did a good job, just A, not to fumble it, and B, to get any positive yardage, because he kind of had it up on his right shoulder pad, and don't think that's where it meant to be.
No, not at all. And that part of that was the snap and when Phillips had even got the ball. So in the backfield here, it's going to be the same look. 2 receivers both sides for that Bucks offense. We get a handoff to Bogner. He gets a big run here, starts stumbling, but it's enough for a Bucks first down.
He's going to take it out to about the 35.
Correction, 59.
So about 8 yards there for Bogner, which is about what he needed.
First and 10, Buckeye Central.
So 1st and 10 here for Buckeye Central. Running clock in effect, so 10:45 remaining in this game. At this point, it's good to try to get a score or 2 in here and try to get some momentum going into next week. We get a handoff with a toss to the running back. Official calls it incomplete, so saying that toss was forward to the running back.
Looked like a pitch sideways on a sweep, but okay.
I was going to say, definitely looked a little on the backwards lateral side.
At every level of football I watch, I don't know what's incomplete and what's a fumble. I get so confused with, is the arm going forward? Is it behind the line of scrimmage?
Did they make a football move after they
Yeah, somehow this has to be simplified at all levels, but not today.
Yeah, I thought that one was a pretty obvious
it looked like
running back toss. But
it looked like, I already wrote down fumble. I mean,
Yeah. We get another handoff here to Bogner, and he's again stuffed in the backfield for a loss. That one's going to be about maybe 1 to a half yard.
Yeah, about a -1 there. Having a difficult time just kind of getting things going. Now we're facing a 3rd and about 11.
And with the running clock, Buckeye Central can throw this thing, and the clock is still going to run down. So for some teams, they like to still work on the pass game in that situation. Some teams like to just run it in that situation. So we'll see. We've got a loose bunch set at the bottom, down by that Buckeye Central sideline nearest us. We get another handoff to Bogner, and that's going to be an even bigger loss. Another 1 or 2 here for a long 4th down.
These is the 4th and 11.
Well, either punt it away and take your chances, or you just go for it and give them a short field. You're already in a running clock, so you really don't have anything to lose by punting the ball. You just got to go for it, and hope you can get a first down and maybe keep this going and keep the ball away from them at this point. It should be your main goal is not to let them score again, but still a lot of time on that clock.
I was getting ready to say, it looks like they might go for this one. They're not going to. It's going to be a short punt, almost blocked.
Did a good job to just get it away.
And it's going to be Omar Castellano with it here. We get a flag dropped right there, it looked like, by the official. It may not be, though. Castellano's still running, and he's in the red zone. Great punt return for him.
Oh, Lordy.
So not a flag. Official threw down the yard mark spot.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought that might
yeah.
be a flag. It's not. And that's going to be a big return for Fairport, who's going to already be in the red zone.
But the only thing that Fairport Harbor hadn't done was return a kick or a punt, and they turn around and get a nice punt return, putting it down to about the 18-yard line and, a chance to score again.
And as expected, it's a Castellano receiving the punt.
Yeah, I mean, they've done everything, and special teams, both, offense, defense, and, they've got a good core of skilled players, and they've been on full display. We've got a timeout here. We can take one as well. You're listening to high school football on Country Legends WBCO and streaming live on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
And actually improve your. Sorry, I had to get the Buckeye game back on. It resodded.
Back to Buckeye Central. I'm Trayvon Hastings. With me, Anthony Contrell. And we thought we had just resumed the broadcast into a touchdown.
But there's a flag in the backfield.
We get an unsportsmanlike conduct flag thrown against Fairport here. Official's going to go talk to the head coach. So it's either going to be touchdown that stands with a longer PAT, or it's going to be no touchdown if it was during the play, and it appears that that was the case.
It looked like the flag was back here in the backfield. Nice pass and catch for the touchdown, but it's going to come back. Yep,
it will come back. Touchdown is going to come off of the board here. It was a really nice play. Lawson to Omar Castellano for a almost head top like touchdown there. Touchdown is actually going to be good here.
Now
they're going to say
touchdown?
it stands. So
okay,
that's going to make it 47-6.
Okay. A little confused by all that, but
you get a little bit of confusion here. Official's going to have Castellano, Omar Castellano, come off. So good chance that unsportsmanlike was potentially on him, but he's not in for this PAT. The PAT then is blocked. So 47-6 here, 6:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. That running clock in effect, minus these certain dead ball situations such as timeouts and scores. But
I'm confused by everything that just happened, guys. But
yeah, I thought maybe after they took the yards off that obviously that means they have to play. They're probably going to enforce it. You can enforce it on the PAT, you can enforce it on the kickoff.
But they said no, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, so that means it was a after play penalty, so it doesn't actually affect the play that transpired. So that's going to be a touchdown that stands on the board for Fairport and gets them near that 50-point total, halfway to the century mark almost at 47, so 47-6 here. But it does look like this kick is going to be, it's actually still going to be.
So where did the penalty come in? If they didn't.
Oh, okay. He that's what the official's doing.
Okay.
So the official was clarifying that unsportsmanlike that took place, it's getting
It's getting
pushed
assessed
back on the kickoff.
Okay.
Okay, it's getting assessed
All
here.
right,
So
well, at least we sort of understand it now.
official kind of confused us there. He had
So it's
just
back to
dropped the ball on the
okay.
40.
So it's back to the 25. So it's
Yep.
a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike. The touchdown stands, and they're going to kick off to Buckeye.
Yes.
All right.
He dropped it on the 40 and kind of thought it was just gonna be
Perfectly
there.
clear now, Trayvon. I don't know why we were so confused.
It took us a while.
Well, they didn't really. At first, it looked like they weren't going to count
Yep.
the touchdown, then they did.
It's
so.
hard when we don't have the official mic either, and they can't
you don't,
verbalize it.
You don't
kinda
really
have
know
to
what they're
go.
doing. So,
Yep.
any event, Buckeye will get the ball here. Oh,
Kick off deep for Fairport, goes out of bounds.
40-yard line, 41.
So we'll have to see.
Clock running under 6 minutes here. This is going to be a quick. Now they're going to talk about it.
I think they're going to talk about the ball being at the 50 instead of the 40 because of where the penalty yardage was as well. So they're going to start at midfield like they have most of this game.
Yep.
With 5:30 and counting left in this one.
Just, I'm going to say bizarre, but just a different game, different formation, just some strange things that we've seen. But bottom line is Fairport Harbor came in and played a really good football game. And Buckeye has struggled, and that's why they're behind 47-6 here this afternoon.
Just going to say they came in ready to play. They knew what they were here for, and that was business, and they took care of that pretty early in this one.
Sure did.
Starter's going to be out there still for Buckeye Central. Phillips going to hand it off to Bogner once again. He's had a busy second half running the ball, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, 5 or 6 yards. And at this point, Buckeye's just going to run their offense, and they're not going to try to do anything too spectacular. Just kind of, run the clock and get out of here and kind of regroup and head into that opening N10 schedule against Bucyrus over there next Friday night.
I was just going to say it feels like they're content with trying to stay healthy and just get into next week.
I think you get to the point where that's what you have to do as a coach. You know you're not going to catch up at this point. Just minimize the damage.
And as we say that, Bogner has checked out of the game. In at back is number 21, Donnie Fortner.
Brought down in the backfield at number 51.
Looks like he got 1 yard or no yards. Maybe.
About half a yard. That chain gain down marker moved about one small shuffle over, so I'd say about half a yard here. 3rd and 3 for the Buckeye Central offense. We're now under 4 minutes, 3:45 and counting remaining here. Phillips with another handoff, this time to Fortner. He did make a nice cut, broke one tackle, tried to break two, did not, then takes a big hit.
The second or third guy got him good around the thigh there and put him down. We're going to mark it at the 45, which is kind of generous, but,
Yeah, Zephan Hines there with the tackle. Very good, just helmet first hit there from him. Comes in, lays the boom. It's going to be 4th and 5 here.
Say no gain really, but yeah, 4th and 5. They're going to go for it with 3 minutes and change here to go. And like you said, just try to get out of this thing healthy and not make any more damage.
Yep, officially under 3 minutes now, 2:58 and counting. Phillips drops back. The catch is made to the big receiver, but officials are going to also award the first down. So good pass and catch there by Phillips, and Lane Caudill. That's going to move the chains for a first down, according to the official over here. But then we get a personal foul against Buckeye Central.
Well,
so we're going to see if this is
going to negate that, or is it going to?
We're going to see if this is during or after the play, which is going to determine whether this is a first down or not.
Yeah, if it's not, too bad, because it was a nice throw and catch there to Caudill, and they got what appeared to be a first down. But
I believe that penalty was on 51, Lance Cole. He's the one coming off of the field here, so
yeah, a little frustration. Yep, they're going to mark it off 15 yards, aren't they?
Yep, it's going to be a during play penalty, it looks like. So this is going to be a long 4th down for Buckeye Central after just converting the same 4th down. So 4th and 20 here at the 40.
Yeah, 4th and 20. And not getting any better for Buckeye.
Inside 2 minutes remaining here. Clock at 1:40 nearly and counting. Quarterback Jack Philliphs still back there, and it looks like this is going to just be a punt for Buckeye Central. That one high in the air but short, bounces, and we get a return.
He grabbed that on the run.
Wow.
Jack Philliphs' punt is returned by number 2 for Fairport.
So an interesting return attempt there. I think
really
two. I think 2 is John Castellano. I don't know. We don't have that number, but
he caught it on the run. I tell you what.
It looked like it was just going to bounce. It was going to be, a dead ball and try to, take that one and let the clock run out. But instead we get a punt return that gets the ball into Buckeye Central territory here with just 49 seconds remaining. 18 on the play clock, so at least one play needed to get out of this one.
A bad snap. We'll see.
And we get a timeout for Buckeye Central. So 38 seconds remaining, 47-6 here. And this is going to be a victory for Fairport as they came in and asserted themselves early. The way they play both offensively, defensively, they got help with the early interception from Phillips to open things up. But at that point, they took the lead and they went wire to wire in this game.
Yeah, they sure did. It was really never a contest after that opening, couple of scores.
And yeah, the game was 0-0 after the first few possessions, but Fairport got that first touchdown, and then the second and third touchdowns as well. Then Buckeye Central was able to come back with a touchdown of their own. But after that, it's been all Fairport. 26 consecutive points since that point. And we're going to get a handoff here for the backups of Fairport. Couple nice cuts, broken tackles as well. A little bit of a scuffle here. Flags coming out at the bottom of that here. I believe it was Lawson on that carry. Can't exactly tell right
number
now.
9,
but
or number
if it was 9, it'd be Evan Murphy, the running back. So
I think it was. Clock shows 0, and I think that's going to do it.
Officials had that flag. They're just going to call this one. There was a little bit of a unsportsmanlike scuffle that took place at the bottom of the pile there after that tackle. But that's going to be the final here, 47-6. Fairport takes it on the road at Buckeye Central. We'll return here shortly for the post-game show and recap. You're listening to high school football on Country Legends WBCO and streaming live on the OH Report.
OH Report brings you local high school sports coverage like nobody else. In football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, soccer, wrestling, track and field. If it's happening in our area, we're streaming it.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Got to take care of some post-game stuff with the coaches, but this was a very one-sided affair. It was all Fairport. It didn't start that way. It took a couple possessions for either team to score, but eventually, once the Skippers took advantage and got on the scoreboard, it remained that way. They take this one wire to wire. They score the first 3 touchdowns, followed by a Buckeye Central score, and then from that point on, the remaining 26 unanswered points go to Fairport Harding, so they take the victory 47-6. Overall, I would say player of the game is a very tough decision. The running back Abraham Castellano got things going very well, and then his production kind of just died off. The receiver Brandon Gibson Jr. had a big day with the 3 catches for over 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, but quarterback Brady Lawson throws 6 touchdown passes in this one. He is going to be the player of the game for this outing. He had a phenomenal game, and he had the 2 big deep touchdown passes. He had the catch and run touchdown pass to Brandon Gibson Jr. as well. So I believe he's going to come up here shortly for the post-game interview, listening live not only on Country Legends WBCO, but also streaming live on the OH Report. So as part of those responsibilities, we get the honor and privilege of the post-game interview with our MVP, Brady Lawson, who will be up shortly. But it was a very, very good game for Fairport. They came in here on the road, traveling to Buckeye Central. They took care of business. It starts the first of 3 straight road games for them as well. And they're now 3-0, and they don't have to do much more winning if they even want to get into the postseason. So that's the beauty of this expanded playoff that the OHSAA has created. And up here shortly, we're going to get Brady. But before we do that, we're going to go to a quick timeout. You're listening to Country Legends, WBCO, and we're also streaming this high school football postgame live on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Josh Banks back here with our Baker's Pizza Most Valuable Player, the quarterback for the Fairport Harbor Skippers, Brady Lawson, the senior. Let's just start with the day today. You throw for 6 touchdowns. Your receivers have a great day. I kind of said it from the onset. I'm talking about up here with the radio guys. You're a smaller team, but your athleticism makes you guys excel.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, definitely rely on our athletes and our O-line. We come together as a team, and that's how we pull together these wins.
All right, so now let's talk about your day in general. You throw for well over 200 yards, 6 total touchdowns, no turnovers. You're through 3 games of your senior season. You're going to be well over 800 yards now. You have yet to commit a turnover. What's that feel like in your last year of high school football?
It feels good, but I really cannot do it without any of my wide receivers or offensive line again. If I don't have time, it doesn't mean anything. My stats are nothing without my wide receivers.
And that's a great thing to hear. You had a couple guys today. Your go-to receiver, Gibson, has 3 catches for 105 yards and 2 scores, including a deep post for 76 yards over the middle. You have a couple great throws to the corner of the end zone. What do you kind of pride yourself on in the offseason to make yourself what you are now?
Honestly, just lifting is the main thing in the offseason, and then getting my wide receivers to the field even when it's cold outside. Yeah.
Now I'll ask, what are your guys? You're 3-0. You got 7 games left in your senior season. What are your expectations, and what are your guys' goals to finish out the season?
A team goal of ours is to win the NAC. We have all talked about that. We're leaving the NAC next year to go into the CVC, so we want to win the NAC and leave the NAC with a NAC championship.
All right, so one thing we do here on the OH Report is after you get done talking to me, that camera is looking right at you, Brady. You can look back at it and give out as many shout-outs as you want today. Anybody, any person, shout them out today. Family, friends, teammates, coaches, whoever you want to shout out, my man, you got the floor.
I want to shout out Coach Greenwood, Coach Nagel, Coach T, all the coaches that were on the sideline, Brandon Gibson, DJ, John, Yomar, Abraham, Shane, all my skill guys, my whole O-line. Love y'all O-line. And, yeah.
That's our Baker's Pizza MVP, senior quarterback for the Skippers, Brady Lawson. Congratulations on the win, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Back here one final time to wrap things up from New Washington, Ohio, where the Fairport Harbor Skippers knock off the Bucks. So Buckeye Central by a final of 47-6. Behind the arm of senior quarterback Brady Lawson, who throws 6 touchdown passes on the evening. That's going to move Fairport Harbor to 3-0. They'll face Cardinal next week, and they'll make Buckeye Central 2-1 as they will travel to Bucyrus for week 1 of N10 play. Thank you to all of our amazing sponsors that allowed us to bring you this game live and free tonight. First Federal Community Bank, Burkhart Farm Center, Baker's Pizza, and Old 30 Barbecue. Thank you so much for allowing us to bring this live and free high school action to you guys on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. The WBCO guys that called the game. My son Josh Banks on camera. I am Josh Banks. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And most importantly, stay safe. And we'll see you next time we're live in your area.